you're going like this. Okay, never mind. Well, we can... It's actually really hard to explain, but you don't want to be having too much body English with resistance bands, basically. You don't want to have too much, although, so like how I do my upright rows with barbell, that is a barbell. It's a resistance versus a consistent tension throughout the full range of motion. You don't want to have too much body English on stuff, including on the single-handed upright row, the single-handed overhead press, and etc. When we're doing an overhead press like this, when we want a fail set, we don't know what to do, or we're here and we don't know what to do, you can just let it bounce back down, always here. You don't want to let it go too low, it's not healthy. Keep it like this. You always want to keep your elbows as straight down, or as parallel to the floor as you can. Another way of fail setting this is once you get, it doesn't matter. So once we get here and you still have a great amount of tension, let's say you don't know what to do, you don't want to just drop it forward and hit yourself and stuff. We're going to go ahead and show an example. Okay. So if the band is giving you issues, you can go ahead and just grab it, place it yourself. That's perfect. Make sure we have almost completely perfect tension on each end. Alright, so once again, all you have to do is drop it. When you bring it forward, you want to kind of let it roll out of your palm as soon as you go forward. You don't want to be bringing your elbows forward and holding that under tension. But even if you are, as long as your wrists or your elbows are by your side as you do it, under the tension, it puts emphasis on the brachioradialis, and you're okay. It's biomechanically safe, basically. Alright, another thing is, I personally like to do resistance bands with no shoes. The reason why is because resistance bands, I'm just going to go grab a shoe and show you. Alright, so as you can see, this is a pretty sleek little shoe. It's because it's made out of, cardboard. But anyway, putting this on and grabbing a sip of water, when I run the band, unless the shoe is extremely tight, no matter what, you're going to create weird tension feeling when you perform this. Go ahead and grab a shoe and no shoe. Go ahead and just attempt to do this. It feels weird on your foot. If I'm going to be honest, it takes the mind-muscle connection out of your feet for the resistance band, and I believe that's actually counter. For this specific type of training, working out, you want to have connect with what you're doing, really understand and feel what you're working out. So once again, if we switch to barefoot, I can feel that very well. Go here, and I can feel the tension at my foot. I know what's going on with this band. I feel like this band and me have become one. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and finish this up. We have went ahead and performed the shoulders for anterior delt, lateral delt, rear delt, and for traps. And with the upright row variation I showed, if you're doing a close grip with a mental cue to pull it apart at the top range of motion, depending on your range of motion, as long as you can even get it here, to just to upper chest and no further, it's still fine. But you're engaging the rotator cuffs as well, and you're engaging them through a consistent tension throughout the entire range of motion, through a proper range of motion. You are basically, although they are still stabilizers throughout the range of motion, because of the amount of activity once you start rotating the humerus, it really involves them, especially the higher you go. That's why I'm able to go higher, because I've trained to be able to do this for much longer. Once you go higher, you'll actually feel the rotator cuff. You feel everything just really tighten up and get nice and strong. And if you're able to do the variation I am, where you keep your shoulder blades forward, protracted, and at the midpoint, you retract them. It doesn't matter if you pull it a little bit back, I guess. You don't want to be body Englishing it. It needs to be a consistent range of motion. If you're bringing it a little bit back, that's fine. It does seem like it will take emphasis off the lateral delt and put emphasis a bit more onto the rear delt. If it's going to truly affect potential growth, no, I believe it'll actually be better, because it's actually engaging the motor units properly through a full functionality instead of a direct isolation. Although there might not be so much hypertrophic potential due to a lot more stabilizer activation of the rotator cuffs and everything, you're still engaging the glenohumeral socket in its full range of motion, its full biomechanical action, and with an appropriate tension. You can progressively overload even with resistance bands under those circumstances. And my next videos will be on back and biceps, which will be tomorrow. I will be taking a day off, and then I will be performing a chest and tricep day, and then I won't be taking another day off, and then I'll be performing a leg day. Just one thing is, in terms of isolation, I am almost to you just standing here. There is at least one workout to hit every muscle in terms of, let's say, like larger muscle groups: anterior deltoid, lateral deltoid, brachialis, brachioradialis, biceps. If you want to focus on a tighter, or if you want to get more of an actual bicep engage, I forgot where I was going with this. Okay, so that's it. I forgot where I was going with this.